level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, I've been doing this business of trading over 55 years. God, they make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be. The best way to learn is to follow me, my actual investments. That's right. When I buy a stock, you follow me. Do exactly what I do. That's the best way to learn.
Check out the free 10-day trial. Learn more at philsgang.com.
Be my co-pilot at philsgang.com. Do what I do.
That's philsgang.com. You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, you know, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy this stock. Then you have two people on their show. One guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right. Follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals. You follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grandy at philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, you know, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy the stock. Then you have two people on their show. One guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right. Follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals. You follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
The staff now has a noticeable slowdown in growth starting later this year in the forecast, but given the resilience of the economy recently, they are no longer forecasting a recession.
You know, if you believe anything Powell says, it's going to be wrong. Remember, anytime you listen to the Fed, very few times, if you check on it and come back and find out they've been wrong. But if you want information like, what do you think the market's going to do? What do you think the stock market's going to do? Or is the economy going to grow? Where do you go get that information? Well, you get the truth from the bond market. The bond market's where the truth's at. Yields. You take a look at the 10-year Treasury yield. That's the most important indicator. If those yields are going up, I don't care what anybody's telling you, bad things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. It's always the yield. See, the Federal Reserve, remember, we should get rid of the Federal Reserve, because any chair of the Federal Reserve, remember, he's tied right back to whoever is in the White House and whatever party that president represents. And that comes first, the power. The power in the party. Not us, not we the people. And whoever takes that job, whether it was Yellen or Powell or Bernanke, their loyalty is to the president and his party. And they'll lie to us. They'll do anything to make sure that they put the president first and we're last. And a great example of that, you take QE in 2008. That was the worst deal ever. Because if you go back from 2008 to 2022, January 2022, remember, those yields were, the 10-year Treasury yield, those were low. 1.25%, 2%. And those are all artificially pushed down. And when you push those yields down like that, and when the yields go down, just the opposite going up, that means good things are going to happen. And for 10 years, good things didn't happen. Oh, yes, the market went up. The NASDAQ went up 1,200%. The S&P went up 600 some odd percent. But the economy, oh, no. The only ones who benefited the economy were the very, very wealthy and the Wall Street banksters. They benefited, and the banks, they benefited. But over that 10, 12-year period, the people didn't benefit. They felt like they were benefiting. They could go buy a car. They could buy a snowmobile. The payments are low. But that is now coming back to bite them. You got to pay for all that. Now, the people who don't pay for that are very, very wealthy. They don't get bit. But the hardworking family on Main Street who makes a combined income of $65,000 to $100,000, yeah, they're the ones who get screwed. And over that 10 years, as inflation kept going higher and higher, and then deficits, because when you keep spending more money you take in, the deficits get larger and larger and larger. And those deficits cause inflation. You can't just get rid of inflation. So while people are happy interest rates are low, they don't look and see the inflation going up. They just want to know what the late payment's going to be. As long as everybody's happy and payments are low, they don't care if there's too much liquidity in the market. They don't even know what that means. They don't even know if it's supposed to hurt them if there's too much money in the market. They don't know. So if you go look at 2008 to 2012, when the market went up about 1,200%, the NASDAQ, it was all pushed up artificially by keeping these rates low. And that 10-year Treasury will always tell you when you're in trouble, when you reach a point that they can't keep that 10-year Treasury yield down anymore. That means you're heading for a disaster. And that's what it's telling us now as the yields keep going up and they can't get them down. We're at over 4% on the yields right now, 10-year Treasury yield. Now, if you go back and take a look, in 2008, I'll get the numbers here, I had them a moment ago, but if you go back and take a look at the numbers, let me see if I got them here for us. those rates were anywhere from 1%. If you go for 2008, 2012, from 1% to 2.5%, that was the yield. And the mortgage rates were about 2.5%. So take that 12-year period from 2008 to 2012, that area there. I mean, that was when there was so much liquidity going into this market, and that's where rates were so low. All those refinancing over those 12 years, all that money was pushing the economy. So because they kept that rate so low, the bond yield so low, and then the mortgage on the house, 2.7, 3%, 3.4, people go in and refinance 1, 2, 3 times. Now, guess what? It's over. Now those yields are over 4%. Mortgages are at 7%. So we're not going to get this. So you have a day like today. Oh, look at this. Mark's up 400 points. Boy, this is great. No, it's not. It's going to be back down because all this money that's now in this economy, we're not taking it back out. It's too late. We can't even get it back out in time. So the more they keep on funneling money for those, keeping rates that low for over 10, 12 years, that's what pushed this whole economy, but now it's turned into debt. It's morphed into massive debt. You got massive household debt, massive government debt, massive industrial debt, corporate debt, massive. Look at commercial debt, so massive. People are just turning in their keys at shopping center. Here, take the whole shopping center. This guy in Atlanta, one of the biggest developers, he just told the bank, here's my shopping center. I mean, one of the biggest shopping centers, here it is. Here's my 300 keys. But see, during that whole 12-year period, it was a party. Because, see, the Federal Reserve wasn't working for us. The Federal Reserve wasn't working for you and I, looking out for us. The chairs of the Federal Reserve, if they're really looking out for us, they would say, wait a minute, stop this in 2010. Stop this in 2012. No more. Because we keep this going, there's going to be such massive debt. We can't hope to get that liquidity, that money back out of the market to get things back in order. So now they want us to believe everything's fine, and they told us, oh, look at this. In 2023, we had a better market than in 2022. So everything's going to be fine. Wait a minute, that's not true. Because in 2022, the S&P was down 20%, okay, and the NASDAQ was down 29%, and they're saying, yeah, but 2023, the S&P was up 16% compared to down 20% in 2022. In 2023, the NASDAQ was up 32% compared to 2022, down 29%. That's got to be good. No, it was financially engineered. It's financially engineered. Remember how they did that. It's all this, remember, they kept printing and printing all this money. And then they had to take and prop up the banks and then prop up the tech stocks. We'll talk about that when we get back. People are in for a big surprise. They really think everything's just fine, and Powell is lying to us.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up, or why there's continued inflation, or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand. especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color code chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, if you really want to make sense of this market, you can't be listening to the fake business news network. They will not tell you the truth. They're to get you excited, to make sure you go out and you're happy so you'll buy something. That's not what we do here at Phil's Gang. We give you the truth, the direction, and that's what you need. Listen to me on my radio show each day and also on my Rumble and YouTube channel podcast. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join my gang. For the first 10 days, it's free. During that 10 days, you're going to learn something so valuable, how to sell a stock short. Once you learn how to sell a stock short, what a difference it's going to make in your financial life. If you don't know how to sell a stock short, you're like chained. I mean, can you imagine sitting there and you always have to find a stock that's going up? And here's the worst thing. If you're in a stock and it went up, let's say the market you were in a stock, it went up 20%, and now it started to go down, but instead of turning around and making money on the way down, you have to now go look for another stock. The problem with that, all the other stocks are up. What, you think just your stock went up 20%? All the other stocks. Now you're buying something that's overvalued. And 85% of people lose money in the market because they're buying stuff that's overvalued. Right now, if you're buying, people are still buying Apple and buying all these big tech stocks. It's insane. The valuations are insane. And what's amazing is when Powell comes out and tells us we're not going to have a recession, we're not going to have a stock market crash, we're going to have a soft landing, everything is fine. And then what really gets me, he points to 2023. Just look at this. The S&P had its best 6 months since 2019. And the NASDAQ had the best first half in 40 years in 2023. Well, that's not true. They financially engineered those numbers because if you go back in 2022, the S&P had the worst 6 months. 2022, the NASDAQ had the worst first half. Compared to 2023, they have the best. But here's the problem. The headwinds in 2023 were worse than 2022. So how could that be? Well, first of all, in 2023, while the market was going up, and at 20% for the S&P and the NASDAQ, 29, and the NASDAQ 32%. Remember how that was done. Let's take the banking sector. When the banks fell apart in March, what the first thing they do? They went and printed $2 trillion, created what they call the Bank Term Funding Program. And they shoved $2 trillion in so that there would be another, they would avoid another Silicon Valley Bank, avoid another regional, avoid First Republic, because there's another 177 that were following them. So Yellen gets Treasury to print this money. Oh, by the way, that's inflationary. Hello, that's inflationary. They won't tell you that, but it's inflationary. That kills you. That means your deficits are going higher. And what do you do when you got deficits going higher? You're spending money you don't have. Well, you got to go print money and pay it. Well, that's not good because when you go print money to pay the deficits, inflation goes higher. So how do you get the inflation down? Well, you got to raise rates again. And when you raise rates to get that inflation down, now the dollar's going down. In the meantime, the yields keep going up. So going back, it was really interesting. During this period that they're saying that 2023 was the best ever, the first half of the year, at that same exact time, for 14 months, our leading economic indicators were a red flag. They were flashing. Our 6 leading indicators, economic leading indicators, were flashing, but nobody cared. Didn't matter. Don't worry about it. There's not going to be a recession. Really? That's crazy. So here's what they're doing. They were propping up the banks using that $2 trillion, and then how are they propping up the tech stocks? They were up already 1,200%, which people today are still buying. Well, what they did is they got the hedge funds together with the hedge fund managers, pension fund managers, insurance companies, 401k managers, and who else? And the hedge funds, 401k managers, pension fund managers, insurance companies, and they pooled $15 trillion into Apple and Microsoft. And by the way, Apple at that time, revenues were negative. So they took and pooled the money, propped up Apple and Microsoft. Their idea was that would prop up the balance of the 7 stocks, and these stocks are located in the S&P and in the NASDAQ, and they'll keep the market going up, and nobody's going to know the difference. And we'll keep printing money. Well, there's a problem with that. Because, again, we have no money. So Biden, when he took office, remember, he spent trillions of dollars, and he spent almost $6 trillion with $875 billion in the bank in his checking account. Those are all deficits. Deficits kill you. So we have debt, massive deficits, and nothing like deficits. Deficits are like cancer to the economy and the market. It's destroying our standard of living. But they know as long as people see the market's up 400 points, they'll keep buying. And they'll feel good. And the fake business network is going to make sure they get the message out, everything is okay. Even though when wages, they're saying, oh, look at wages, 4.4%. Well, wait a minute. Why don't you tell the rest of the story? Wages are 4.4%, but they're still down 3.2% since Biden took office, and prices since Biden took office still up 16%. So 4.4% in wages against prices of 16%. How's that work out? And inflation still keeps going up. And as of August 1st or July 1st, guess what? Our gasoline is still up 58% since Biden took office. Groceries and most of the goods you buy for your household, cleaners and everything else, still up about 20%. Energy's up 33%. Gas up 58%. Still up. Rent's still up 30%. And you got wages, can't match that. But they'll come out and lie. So, no, wages are good. Listen to this. This is unbelievable. And these are the cheerleaders that you got to listen to right here.
A lot of what has driven the stability of the U.S. economy so far this year, despite all the talk about recession, is the fact that consumer spending continues to be strong, continues to grow.
Well, what are they going to? Wait a minute. Yeah, but now that their credit cards are tapped, they refinanced their house 3 times. Now what? What are they going to do now? It's unbelievable. You got to get ready. You got to learn how to sell short. We'll help you. Won't even cost you anything for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. To be a successful investor, you need to stay current with the daily changes in the economy and the stock market. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com can be your guide to becoming a better investor. Try the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com for the working investor. From the opening bell to the closing, stay informed with what's happening in real time. The Working Investor program includes full access to the Phil's Gang website, a morning update on what to look for that day on Wall Street, a market wrap on that day's trading, plus seminars, training, and tools to help you become a better investor. Go to philsgang.com for a free 10-day trial. After that, it's just $59.95 a month for membership, daily updates, training, software, and the best investing advice every day. You can invest with the best. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grandy.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. To be a successful investor, you need to stay current with the daily changes in the economy and the stock market. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com can be your guide to becoming a better investor. Try the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com for the working investor. From the opening bell to the closing, stay informed with what's happening in real time. The Working Investor program includes full access to the Phil's Gang website, a morning update on what to look for that day on Wall Street, a market wrap on that day's trading, plus seminars, training, and tools to help you become a better investor. Go to philsgang.com for a free 10-day trial. After that, it's just $59.95 a month for membership, daily updates, training, software, and the best investing advice every day. You can invest with the best. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
You know, once you're in this business long enough, the first thing you learn is you don't listen to anything the Fed says. Because again, their job is not to take care of us, the people, but do the bidding of whoever's in the White House and whatever party is in charge. Now, he's saying everything's fine, we're not going to have a recession. And let me ask, how come a trucking company, Yellow, that's been in business for over 100 years, everybody knows Yellow Trucking, had to file bankruptcy when the economy's doing just fine? I mean, they're saying the economy's doing fine. And to make that point, remember what Powell's saying, that 2023 first half was better than the first half of 2022, but they didn't tell you how they rigged it to be better when we had, think about this, we had bigger deficits, we had worse earnings, worse inflation, when in 2023. Yeah, he's telling us the market outperformed 2022 first half. How can you do that when we also have worse wages? So if you got worse inflation, worse wages, you got worse deficits, worse overall debt, including commercial debt, industrial debt, corporate debt, how could that be? It's not. It's because, again, how did they make that happen when everything was worse in 2023, 2022? Well, they made sure that the banks, they printed $2 trillion and got a real nice name for it. The first half market, the first bond, what the hell the thing's called? First bank term funding, what a stupid name. Bank Term Funding Program. Can I remember it? So they got that neat name from the, Homeland Security, all the neat names. I'd like to get that job. That must be a nice job with the federal government, just make names. So they make a fancy name up like everything's going to be okay. The problem is they had to print $2 trillion to put in it to prop up the banks. Then the tech stocks were over. They're done. Valuations are too high. The big guys, the institutions aren't going to buy tech stocks. Not when they got to pay $32 for every $1 of earnings. What are you, nuts? They're not going to do that. The tourists will. The tourist traders come in. They know that. So what do they do to keep that propping up? Well, they got all the boys together. The hedge funds, pension funds, 401k managers. They also, let's pool the insurance companies. Let's pool $15 trillion. We'll prop up Microsoft, Apple, the two leaders. They'll push up the remaining 5 stocks, the 5 of the 7 tech stocks. That'll prop up the S&P, and that'll prop up NASDAQ, and nobody will know the difference. And then Powell will come out, and the fake business news network come out and say, oh, isn't this wonderful? We had a much better market in 2023 than in 2022. Even though our wages today are at 4.4%, and the prices have increased in that same time that we got to 4.4%, 16%. Our jobs, they keep saying how it's a strong but jobs market, right? How can it be a strong jobs market with wages like that? How can it be a strong job market? I love how they determine a strong job market. They say, well, there's not enough jobs, so it's strong. There's not enough people, okay, to fill all the jobs. That's strong. Well, why don't we find out why there's not enough people filling all these jobs? Does somebody want to answer that for me? Oh, you couldn't get an answer out of anybody on that one. Well, let's think about it. The reason why it's a strong job market is nobody wants to work and we can't fill the jobs. Because what happened in 2020, 2021? Biden, like Obama, when things are going to hell with the pandemic, he didn't want to increase productivity. That's what he should have done. How about funding small startup businesses to increase productivity? And the small businesses create more jobs. 65% of the jobs come from startup businesses, the small businesses. Why didn't he fund small business? No, what did he do instead? He increased their regulations. He increased their taxes. So, and then the big thing he increased was the size of the welfare state by extending unemployment checks, giving people assistance on rent, assistance on mortgages, assistance on paying their taxes, so people didn't have to go to work. Much better deal. So now the guy's looking for help. Hey, I need some help over here. How much is the job? $12. Nah, I'm getting more than that. I don't have to pay taxes to the government. I'm getting more money than that. So then the guy said, well, here's what I'll do. If it's $12, I'm going to pay you $24. And I know, I know the president, he's going to really get this economy going. So by the time he gets it going, I'll be okay because I can meet that pay. Well, that didn't happen. So people didn't go to work because the welfare state was getting bigger. People were getting fat, not working. And then when people in the little businesses increased their hourly pay from, let's say, $10 to $20, get somebody there to wash dishes, it didn't work. We didn't grow. The economy went the other way. It contracted, didn't grow. So now what's going on? All these businesses are going into bankruptcy. They're all going into bankruptcy, these small businesses, because they can't afford the help. They gave them too much money. Gave them too much money. Listen to this. These are the cheerleaders. And all you had to do is join our gang when I told you to in January when we bought all the tech stocks. Nobody wanted tech stocks. Join us when nobody wanted the oil stocks. Join us when nobody wanted the travel and leisure stocks. We bought the tech stocks. We bought the travel and leisure. We bought what are the other ones? You had travel, tech, leisure, oil. When nobody wanted them. They're going to go lower. They're going to go lower. No, they weren't. We knew they weren't going to go lower. Our charts told us it wasn't going to go lower. We know what the hell we're doing. Now is the time to start selling them all short. But no, now they came out with this. The cheerleaders are out there now. Here's what you're going to hear. This is unbelievable.
It's not that I think these numbers are strong, it's that they are strong. So 13 million jobs, that's a record since the president got here.
Wow, well, that's a lie. We know that 10 million of those jobs came back. Those 10 million people came back to work before he was sworn in. Only 3 million showed up on his part. Then you got Jamie Dimon. Now he's going to be a cheerleader because why? Because the government will always bail him out, so he's going to lie.
The big picture of America is resilient, unbelievable, et cetera. What we have today is a little bit of an anomaly. A very strong consumer, low unemployment. We're growing as a country.
So why is he lying when that's not true? How can that be true when we have the biggest deficits ever? And when you have deficit, yields are going up. And when you have yields going up, that tells you you're in deep trouble. But nobody's going to tell you that. So why does he lie? Because he knows he works for the government. Because the government owns the biggest 5 banks, practically. He's going to get bailed out. He's a player. You think he's going to tell the truth? He knows he's going to get bailed out, so everything's fine. Then you get this one. Another cheerleader.
A lot of what has driven the stability of the U.S. economy so far this year, despite all the talk about recession, is the fact that consumer spending continues to be strong.
Consumer spending is strong. Wait a minute. Where are they getting their money from? They're tapping out their 401ks. They're going and refinance. They can't refinance now. You could refinance when you had mortgage rates at 2.3%, 2.5%, 7%. What are you going to do now? They tapped out their credit cards. Credit cards are now hitting a historic $1 trillion. They can't pay them back. They're going into all these credit cards are going into bankruptcy. But see, nobody wants to talk about that either. So you got all these cheerleaders. And nobody's going to tell the truth, except this guy told the truth.
Consumer credit card delinquencies are the highest they've been since the global financial.
So why didn't Jamie Dimon say that? His delinquencies at credit cards are up. He's not going to tell you the truth. So what do? Join our gang. Defend yourself by knowing how to sell short a stock and understand how the market works. It doesn't cost you a penny. It's free for 10 days, for God's sakes.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in a down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grandy of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com.
Warning: Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60-70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. It tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days. philsgang.com.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, You'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Good investing means understanding how the stock market works.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. If you really want to make sense of this market, you can't be listening to the fake Business News Network. They will not tell you the truth. They're to get you excited, to make sure you go out and you're happy so you'll buy something. That's not what we do here at Phil's Gang. We give you the truth, the direction, and that's what you need. Listen to me on my radio show each day and also on my Rumble and YouTube channel podcast. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grandy. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. So let's go over some stocks. Now remember, we got into our tech stocks back in January. Okay, but now these stocks like Microsoft, it already broke a key low, 50-day moving average. So we are shorting Microsoft. People are actually buying it today. Can you believe that? They're buying Microsoft because they think it's just going to go higher. See, people think everything's just good. All bad news is good news. And the other thing they don't realize is the yields. When yields were between, if you go to 2012 to 2022, before, when we got up to 2012, they should have stopped everything. Stopped it. Stop QE. Stop all this nonsense. Push us into a recession. Let's get rid of all the bad deals. The government, clean up their balance sheet. No, they didn't want to do that. So think of this, 2012 to 2022. Yields were at 1.6%. Mortgages were at 3.5%. Then they went up to about 2%. Mortgages were at 4%. But on average, from 2012 to 2022, mortgage rates were about 3.8%. And yields were about 1.8% on average. Those days are gone. Now, the yield's up to 4% and mortgages up to 6.9%. You know what it means when you go from a yield, let's even go 2% over that 11 period, from 2012 to 2022. So let's just do even a higher average. Let's say those yields were at 2%, 2.5%. Today you're at 4.1%, isn't that right? No, about 4.1% today. Do you know what it means when the yield doubles? This market's going to crash. That's what it means. Because while those yields go up, guess what happens to all the industrial people who borrowed money? All the corporations were borrowing money real cheap. All the big shopping centers who borrowed money real cheap. All the people who build out rental apartments and office space, they're all going broke. The banks are all going broke. The regional banks are going broke. I said there's 177 ready to go belly up, but they've been saved by this $2 trillion, but it doesn't really save them. It just delays it, and that means you and I, are going to be paying more for food and everything else. So let's go back to the stocks. So the tech stocks, if you're buying these tech stocks, you've got to be out of your mind, especially that Apple has broken the 50-day moving average. NVIDIA, think about NVIDIA. We bought NVIDIA all the way back I think we bought NVIDIA, it was back in January of 2023. It was around $155. Today it's around $452. Okay. I'm sorry, NVIDIA is 452. That's about 191%. Now, I'm not saying every gang member made 191%. I didn't even make 191% because we've been in and out, but we made a good chunk of that. But my point is, if you got in at that right time on NVIDIA, or if you got in at the right time on oil, like our MRO, we bought oil when nobody wanted. We bought MRO at it was right around a low of around $22, $23, and now today it's around 26. We bought, that's a 13% return. We bought, so that was our tech, that was our oil. We bought the airlines. We bought NCLH, by the way. We bought that. That was around, in May of 2023, that was around $14. And then we got out around $22. 57% gain. Now, I'm not saying everybody made 57%. What I'm saying, if you had our chart where it turned green to where it's now red, it just turned red today, you would have been up about, let's say an average of 45%. And even from green to red, that 45% rally, if you picked up 10%, wouldn't that be good? You're never going to make 10% in your 401k. My point is, we got in all of these early. Now we're shorting. Now we're preparing ourselves to short. But 95%, 85% of the people are coming in buying now, thinking they saw the market going up today, up 400 points. Like, oh my God, the Dow. They didn't take a look and see what was pushing the Dow up. It was all Amazon. Not Amazon. Amgen. I keep saying Amazon. Amgen. Yeah, that's what pushed up the Dow today. Just one big stock. But most people don't know that, and they just jumped in and bought anything. They said, I better get in before it goes higher. You know, it's just so frustrating because we see all this going on. It doesn't have to be that way, but you got to shut TV off. And if you just learn one thing from this radio program today, what will answer the question, what do you think the market's going to do? Watch your yield. It's never wrong. Watch your yield. It's never wrong. Here's the proof. When yields, let's go to 2012, when yields were at 1.6%, then they're at 1.4%, then they're at 1%. What do you think the yield was telling us? The market's going to go up. It's that simple. But now the yields are at 4%. What do you think it's telling us? The market's going to go down. So the bond market never lies. The bond market's not tied to somebody. It's not tied to a political party. See, that's the problem. That's why you got to get rid of the Federal Reserve, because they're tied to the president and they're tied to the Senate and the whole Congress, rather, and they do their bidding. So you're never gonna get the truth. Never gonna get the truth. And the banks right now, people have no idea. I would not be buying these banks. I'd be getting ready to short these banks. Are you kidding? We bought J.P. Morgan when nobody wanted it. We got into J.P. Morgan right around, I think it was around 137. Now it's at 157. We got out a little higher than that, but let's say 157. That's a 14% move, and we bought it when our color chart went from red to green. Now we're going to be looking to sell it short. So all the professionals are getting ready to sell short, but the tourists are all coming in and buying J.P. Morgan today. And then there was some announcement about Buffett that got this market running. Forgot what it was. I don't even pay attention to that stuff. I pay attention to the yield, because the yield's always wrong and the Federal Reserve always lies. It's that simple. It's that simple. So I would not, again, it's the only place right now where money is going into is the oils. And when you go to the oils, We bought all our oils real early, okay? I said to everybody, and you heard me say it on the radio, look, once oil goes down about 35%, it's not going to go down anymore. They'll cover their short positions. And that's when we went in and we started to buy our energy stocks. We went in and we bought our MRO. No, the first one we bought was Baker Hughes. And we bought Baker Hughes. That was right around, we bought that. That was around June. And it turned green. We went from red to green. It was red, stayed red from May 4th. And then it finally turned green on June 6th. And then we bought it. And when we bought it, it was around $29. And today it's around $35. That's a 20% gain. Again, I'm not saying every gang member made 29%. Every gang member knows when it turns green. Every gang member is trained how to follow that green chart, how to protect themselves, how to take profits, and then they're trained how to sell it short once it doesn't go up anymore. But my point is, every one of these stocks, take like the airline stocks. Nobody wanted the airline stocks. We bought those, and then we turned around and now we're getting ready to short. We bought ALK. That was around ALK. We bought that around May, and that was around, I think, $43. And then we got out of it somewhere around $52. 20%. Now we're looking to sell it short. Matter of fact, we are shorting ALK right now. While people are buying it, most people are buying it, but we're shorting it. Look, go to my site, philsgang.com, all right? Click where it says Get Started. Myself, Steve, Willie, we're here to help you, okay? But you've got to learn how to sell short, but how the market works. Pay attention to yields, not the Fed.
You've been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.